How you doing there? Dr. Nick Jensen here from Divine Elements, your cell detox coach and hormone expert. And I'm here talking about fish oils. Now, just going back in my history as a naturopathic doctor, I put everybody on fish oils. Fish oils were all the craze because they're helpful for reducing inflammation, they're helpful for brain function, they're helping fetal development. There's so many indications for using a fat-based product like fish oils because what you get out of a fish oil is the active constituent or the derivative of something called eicosapentaenoic acid, otherwise known as EPA, or DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. These are the active forms of the fish oil, which is why fish oil has been touted as the best form of omega-3 to reduce inflammation. So as we dive a little bit deeper into looking at cell structure and function, fish oils, I think, do play an interesting role in reducing inflammation in certain individuals. But when we take a step back, or step deeper, I should say, and look into the structure of our cell membranes, Dr. Bruce Lipton talks a lot about the function of the cell is dependent on the cell membranes. Dr. Pompa, my mentor, talks about you got to fix the cell to get well. And the cell health really starts at the level of the cell membrane. The cell membrane is made up of a phospholipid bilayer, so it's made up in part by what you're eating, what you're supplementing in. So this is also why we usually incorporate or encourage a ketogenic diet, which is high fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate intake. And the whole purpose of supplementation is to help to increase the structure or the quality of the structure of our cell membranes, because it's the cell membranes that have receptor sites, which are basically vehicles that take nutrition, hormones from the blood and then into the cell to create cellular activity. The problem is in our modern diet that we have a really poor quality of fat intake, and so we get a lot of trans fats, we get a lot of oxidized fats, we get a lot of GMO fats, things that have too much stuff in them that our body doesn't like, and therefore over time we keep making cells that have a deteriorated quality of health to actually create proper structure in our cell membranes. So it turns out that when looking at fish oil being the derivative, the final form of omega-3 to create a function of suppressing inflammation or working on a set of molecules in the body called prostaglandins, we can actually take a step back and use seed-based oils or seed-based omega-3s in the form of alpha-linoleic acid, gamma-linoleic acid, linoleic acid to let our body decide what it wants to do with it. And it turns out the perfect ratio for fats to be ingested in the body is a 4-to-1 ratio, 4 parts omega-6 to 1 part omega-3. And there's an amazing doctor in Toronto who's created this product called Pureform Oil, which is what we now use in our clinic to help create this proper ratio within the body. And there's lots of great seed oils out there, but what we find is when we're using seed-based oils in this omega-3 form, we're able to create proper structural integrity into our cell membranes. And that helps with cellular inflammation, that's how it helps with cell detox, that helps with nutrient absorption. And going back to the 4-to-1 ratio, when we're ingesting these supplements or this ratio into our diet, a chunk of that 4-to-1 ratio gets turned into fuel for the body, while the remaining amount of phospholipids and fatty acids that are there as part of the supplement get used for structural integrity. And it turns out that up to 30% of your cell membranes are made up of this linoleic acid, and 40% is made up in our mitochondrial membranes. And again, just a quick little note, mitochondria are what provides energy for your body. So taking a step back to looking at fish oil again, fish oil creates a downstream prostaglandin or anti-inflammatory effect up to a certain limit, and it turns out we can actually store a good chunk of these derivatives inside of our cells for a long period of time. But what most of us need is actual structural integrity for our cells to reduce cellular inflammation, to create a better composition of the cells in our body, which it turns out fish oils don't provide a lot of value for that. So what I'm gonna do is provide a link to an amazing podcast done by Dr. Pompa and this medical doctor who I'm forgetting his name right now. which was done not too long ago and it was called The Dangers of Fish Oils. So I encourage you to listen to that. It's a fantastic podcast. It's really changed my perspective a lot as we get to understand a lot more about the role of omega-3s and fish oils in our diet. So again, Dr. Nick here from Divine Elements, teaching you how to fix a cell to get well.